Hello, welcome to the Stephen Leeson Show, with you live at the Scientology Community Centre here in Dublin. Glad to be back after 3 weeks' absence, and a huge thank you to Finbar Cody and Sean McGuinness, who stood in for me over those weeks. Tonight's guests are a traditional and folk music duo from Ballyfermot, Johnny Keenan and Darren Lynch, also known as the Feekers. They've played together since 2008 in countless pub sessions, gigs and festivals around Ireland and abroad. Born in Ballyfermot, Darren began playing music in his late teens when he first picked up the banjo. He then progressed to the octave mandolin and bouzouki. He learned from the great musicians around his area, including Tom Moran, Liam O'Neill, Derek De Bruin, and John Lane. Darren's repertoire is a mixture of Irish, Scottish, English, and American folk songs, and his main influences were the Dubliners Planxty, the Furies, and Sweeney's Men. He's played and recorded with such bands as the Broadside Merchants, Sorana, and Tam Lin before forming the Feekers with Johnny in 2008. Johnny, who plays tenor banjo and tin whistle, was taught by his grandfather, John Keenan Sr., at the age of 10. His uncle, Paddy Keenan, is the renowned uilleann piper and a founding member of the Bothy Band. Johnny's other uncle is the legendary banjo player, also called Johnny Keenan. The annual Johnny Keenan Banjo Festival is named in his honour. Today, in collaboration with Darren, Johnny continues the Keenan family tradition by creating a musical passion to be enjoyed by generations to come. Together, as the Feekers, they bring a unique folk sound that is rooted in the Irish tradition and represents the historical music and culture of the Irish traveller. Their album, Tarbolton, typifies this unique sound which you're about to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the Feekers.
Thank you, folks. Hello to everybody watching at home and wherever you are. We're going to go on with a song. That was a set called The Steam Packet and Morning Star, a set of reels. We're going to go on with a song now called Tramps and Hawkers. Come all ye tramps and hawker lads, gathers abroad, who tramp the country round and round, listen one and all, tell to you a roving tale, sight you seldom see, for it's far into the snowy north and sent by Gretna Green. Oft times I've laughed unto myself when trudging on the road, Me toe rags round me blistering feet, me face as brown as a toad. Lumps of cake and tatty scones, wangs of braxy ham. Not giving a thought to where I've been and as to where I'm going. I'm happy in the summertime beneath the bright blue sky, not thinking in the morning where at night I have to lie. In barn or briar or anywhere, dusting out among the hay. If the weather treats me right, I'm happy every day. Come all ye tramps and hawker lads and gatherers of blood, you tramp the country round and round, come listen one and all. I'll tell to you roving tale of sight you seldom see, for it's far into the snowy north and sent by Gretna Green. Next, we're going to go on to a set of jigs. I think it's called Garnet Barry's and Tripping Up the Stairs. Garnet Barry's and Tripping Up the Stairs. Lovely. We're going to go for another set of jigs. These are called Connacht Man Rambles and The Eavesdropper.
Yes, what about it, folks? The Feekers, and I'd just like to say thank you to a mutual friend of myself and the lads, Mary McDonough, who put me in contact with the Feekers for them to be here today. It's actually a pleasure to hear their music. So thank you very much for that, Mary. And it's great to hear like the likes of Tramps and Hawkers, like such an old song coming back. Of course, to hear the low whistles and a bouzouki. I don't think we've had a bouzouki on this stage yet on any of the episodes that we've done. Tripping Up the Stairs, a classic eavesdropper, all great tunes. Lads, you're very, very welcome. Thanks for joining me here.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, thanks for having us.
How does it feel to be playing back on stage again?
It's a bit strange. We've been sort of keeping ourselves busy by doing things, YouTube videos and playing together, or even just meeting somewhere outdoors or whatever and keeping it up. But it's not the same as being on stage or
have you been doing like some other bands and acts have been doing? Have you been doing any online gigs over the last year?
Not online as such, but what we've been doing when we meet up or whatever, we just record an odd video here and there and put it up on Facebook, YouTube, whatever for people to see, just to keep things ticking over. Yeah, it's a bit different getting back up here. It's been a little while.
Is this the first live gig then you've done that, like as opposed to a virtual gig?
Yeah, I'd say in at least 2 years or so. Yeah.
Oh, it's the first actual gig in 2 years.
Yeah.
So doing the virtual thing. It's a bit different from
Starting
with
over again,
no
really.
audience as such. Like it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting over again, really. That's
Yeah.
what it's like, yeah.
I was doing a gig there just the weekend gone. I was away and I was playing for about 2 hours, and it was my first gig as well since like proper gig, and the fingers were killing me, like after playing that long. But tell us a little bit about the songs and that you're playing, like Tramps and Hawkers. Is that an old Luke Kelly song, or is it an old traditional song, or where's the song come from?
Yeah, I would have learned it from Tramps and Hawkers, but so many. I would have learned it from the singing of Luke Kelly, among others. But a lot of times it's not just when you hear these on albums, and it's when you're playing around sessions in pubs and you hear people doing good versions of them that you do say, it's a nice song. And there's a great story to be, about, he may be a tramp living out in the world, but has its benefits. He has no worries, once he has the sun out, sunny day. So it's kind of, you just pick these songs, it's like yourself, sure, you want to resonate with you. But yeah, I presume the first person I would have heard would have been Luke Kelly and the Dubliners. As with a lot of us, most likely with yourself, the Dubliners were kind of a gateway into music, and learning what came after that. You fell in love with the Dubliners, then you started learning, then you started exploring all the other acts out there.
I think you're actually the first band that I've ever, or even like duo that I've ever seen play Tramps and Hawkers. I've only ever heard, I think, Luke Kelly singing it on an album. I've probably heard other people maybe in recordings, but what a classic to be doing, like,
And it's a lot of people that hear the song and they think, I think I know that from somewhere, but it's the same melody off a few other songs as well. I think Come My Little Son has a very similar melody, totally different song though. But that kind of, it's a nice melody.
I think is that the original with that melody, or is it? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
that's
interesting to know, yeah.
I love seeing these forums online that try to find the origins of these songs, it's a hard one to pinpoint.
That's right.
And even at that, you only actually get the person that, like a song collector that wrote it down, you still haven't got the other 100 people beforehand that sang it and passed around from one.
The lyrics changing over time and that as well, which would probably change a whole song that started off one way. What about the tunes? Where you get the tunes? Like Tripping Up the Stairs. Again, I haven't heard that tune in years.
Well, that's the first set was Steam Pack at Morning Star. I got that from my Uncle Johnny.
Oh, brilliant.
He played that a long time ago, but it stuck in the head, and it was one that I wanted to put down with myself and Darren, so. And then Tripping Up the Stairs.
Did your uncle compose them tunes?
No.
Okay.
No, they were written well before that, but there were two of his favourites.
Yeah.
And then Tripping Up the Stairs, I don't know where that came from.
Was it the same set that Johnny would have played the two of them together, or did you put it together yourself?
So. No, I think John did play them, but I don't think he recorded them. But
it's a fairly well-known one. You'd hear it on a few different albums going around, but it has that happy feel to it.
It's one of them tunes that catches you.
Yeah.
But yeah, beautiful, yeah.
No, super. Tell us a bit about the band. I was asking you earlier, how did you get together? Or
well, I've known Johnny for, God knows, since we were about 12, too long. 12, 13 years.
For anyone who doesn't know, Johnny, Darren,
Johnny, we would have palled together as young teenagers around. I was Ballyfermot, so we would have palled around Loughborough Park and Bluebell and in around that area. and just normal teenagers and that. I would have been aware that Johnny was somehow into the music because I knew his uncles, or the odd time you'd see him and he'd be on a bike cycling off and they'd all have their instruments with them or something like that. But at the time, at 12 or 13, like, I had no sense. So I didn't have an interest, certainly didn't have an interest in traditional music at that time. If I can remember correctly, at the time, I was boxing out of Drimna Boxing Club.
Right.
So I was more into sport and things like that. So, yeah, I hadn't seen Johnny for a number of years, close to 15 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I bumped into him in a pub in Ballyfermot called the 79. And, we just got talking, and at the time, I'd been playing for a few years then, and then it sort of...
The 79 bar at Ballyfermot?
In Ballyfermot, yeah.
I was Paddy Sweeney plays there sometimes. That's
Yeah,
what it has done over the years, isn't it?
Paddy used to be a regular there of a Monday night.
Every Monday,
His gig was there. Great gig. Always got a great crowd and stuff. We could have been at that. I'm not sure.
I think it was that night that we met. Well, it was that evening. Yeah.
It could have been, that he was playing there, because I'd always remember Johnny's mother and father would be there, Eileen and Jerry, and off times I think my lad was there as well.
He was there, Vinny, yeah.
And busy night. Paddy always drew a crowd.
Yeah.
Into the place,
So with his repertoire of songs, to be doing a one-man thing as well is like...
It's hard. It's a hard going, yeah.
Yeah.
Paddy was one of the favourites there. He was always there every Monday night. That was a favourite gig of my mum and dad's. They'd go down and have a few pints. But that was
it the Sunday afternoon? Did you say what?
No, Monday. It used
Oh,
to
it
be
was
Monday
was it?
evening, yeah.
Monday,
Unless
Monday,
it could have been originally
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
But he'd always get the crowd involved as well and get people up. So if you wanted to sing a song, Johnny played rum in there as well before at gigs. So I was thinking it's from there, and Bridgie just started playing together then. I used to drop up to Johnny's, literally sitting at a kitchen table, having a beer, playing a few tunes, and just enjoying, fleshing out a few tunes and a few songs, and just enjoy the bit of playing that's gone from there.
Yeah.
So that was probably.
We started going out, like the bars and stuff. So we decided to form the group, and there was a bit of what would we call it? So we ended up calling it the Feekers, but it didn't change. We wanted to change, but we didn't change it.
Was it 2008 you started, was it?
Yeah, it would have been around that.
Roughly around there, and yeah, that was the year that we put on it, but I say roughly around.
Right, yeah, but still,
yeah,
it's a
2008.
few years together, and
Yeah.
you must know each other fairly well inside out with it musically anyway,
Yeah, well, I've come through a change of instruments as well, so there's been a lot of relearning of stuff along the way.
Tell us a little bit about the bouzouki, actually. Where does is bouzouki, is it a Greek instrument, is it?
That one there is a particularly, that's a Greek bouzouki, that from the bowl back. It's also with the 6-string version. There is an Irish bouzouki that in the 70s, the likes of Don Lunny and the Irvine started playing. Well, I think they may have started out on a Greek bouzouki, but then they got it made that had a flat back and it was more like a mandolin.
That's right, yeah.
So if you can imagine a mandolin with a long neck, and which I did play that, I was playing a mandola. They're all part of the same family, just different size neck. So I think when I started playing with yourself, I was playing the mandola. Then went into the bouzouki, and now I've changed to the Greek bouzouki with less strings in it.
How many strings is on that one?
The 6 strings, and they're
Right.
grouped in 2, so there's only 3 pairs in it.
Ah, okay.
And that one again, to confuse things more, it's
Right.
called a tricorder bouzouki.
A tricorder bouzouki?
Tricorder
Oh, yeah.
bouzouki, yeah, the tricord, 3 strings. But so I've had to adapt stuff over for that as well. So we lost some songs along the way.
We did, yeah.
But it's just the thing that attracts me. The reason why I went for the bouzouki in the first place was that kind of ringing sound, that kind of treble sound.
Yeah.
And I find that that's what you get off the Greek bouzouki's, and particularly the tricorder.
And when you say you lost some of the songs, did you lose it just because you don't think that the sound suited it, kind of thing, or was it?
Yeah, you're missing that bass string in it, so when you adapt them over, they don't sound as well. Now, when I say I've lost them, I mean I haven't taken time to adapt them over as well. So I haven't sang them, and I haven't adapted them over to this style of playing as well. But in time, sure, they may come back, or new songs may come.
Yeah.
So a lot of ones, we recorded an album, in 2012 we recorded an album called Her Bolden. And so we still play some of the stuff on that, but not all. There's a different kind of style. I played with the Irish bouzouki on that, so there's a different style, different sound on that.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to hear, because I see it's on your set list for the next one that they're doing. Is it called Lizzie Lindsay?
Lizzie Lindsay,
Lindsay,
I think we
yeah.
start back with that one.
Great song. I think you sent it to me, wasn't it, when I was asking about some of the songs? And I was like, I haven't heard
yeah.
the song in years. I used to do a gig in, I lived in Lanzarote for about 4 years, 10 years ago, or whatever like that, you know. And I used to get the nickname Lazy Leeson. They changed it from that song, you know. 'Cause I was always, when I was doing the gig, I was always getting other people to come up and like you're saying, Paddy, calling people up to sing, like, you know. I was forever, whoever walked in, if I knew they were a singer or they could play anything, I was, come on up onto the stage and do it. You're on holiday, so you have to, like, you know. But it's a fantastic song.
That's great. Where did you hear it originally yourself? Was it the Furies?
I think it was the Furies was the first version I ever heard of it. Yeah, you are fans of the Furies yourselves, is that right?
Yeah, one of my favourite albums has to be the Spanish Cloak, and it's a great collection. And it's really early Furies. I think it's only Finn Barrett and Eddie on it. And likewise, I would have heard Lizzie Lindsay on that, and it's just magic.
That might be right, actually. Yeah, and they're from Ballyfermot as well, isn't that right?
Ballyfermot, I think John did no more.
Cladder Road, yeah. Number 7 Cladder Road, the Furies are from.
Well, lads, I tell you what, just want to go back on and maybe play Lizzie Lindsay and whatever else you have on the list, and I'll call you back over and we get stuck in to find out a little bit more about you, if that's all right, yeah?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, cool, brilliant. So there we have it, lads. That is the Feekers, and it's a pleasure to meet them. And as I say, looking forward to hearing Lizzie Lindsay, which I haven't heard in years. There's also, I'm looking forward to get stuck in to find out some of the bands that even Darren has played with, like Tam Lin, I think, which is a tune that was written by Davy Arthur, which he called the band after, like, you know. But real traditional style, great to learn a bit of info about the bouzouki, the Greek bouzouki, or I can't remember what he called, the Troy bouzouki, I forget. But really interesting, and I didn't really even realise that there was only 6 strings on it myself, so might get him to maybe bring it over and show us it after. But I'll leave you back over with the Feekers to play a few more songs, then we'll have them back for more of an interview. Here's the Feekers.
Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Highland with me? Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Pride and me darling to be. I'd gang to the Highland with you, sir, but I don't know who you might be, for I know not the land that you live in, nor know the name you go with. Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Highland with me? Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Pride of me darling the bee. Alas, I think you know little if you say you don't know me, for my name's Lord Ronald MacDonald. I'm a chieftain of high degree. Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Highland with me? Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Me bride and me darling to be. I'll show you the red deers are roaming in valleys where waved oaks pines, and as far as the red deers are roaming, Hillmorland and mountain is mine. Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Highland with me? Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Me bride and me darling to be. She's gilded up her skirt of green satin, she's gilded them up round her knee, and she's gone Lord Ronald MacDonald, his bride and his darling to be. Gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Highland with me? Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Me bride and me darling to be. Gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Will you gang to the Highland with me? Will you gang to the Highland, Lizzie Lindsay? Me bride and me darling to be. Okay, so we're going to follow that with a set of reels this time. And the title track of our 2012 album, Terbolton. It's a set called Terbolton and Longford Collector. I think we're going to finish with a song here. Last one is it's a song called Sam Hall, and it's about a chimney sweep that was fond of a bit of thieving, and things didn't work out too well for him. Oh, my name it is Sam Hall, chimney sweep, chimney sweep. Oh, my name it is Sam Hall, chimney sweep. Oh, my name it is Sam Hall, and I've run from great and small, but my neck will pay for all when I die, when I die. Oh, my neck will pay for all when I die. I've got 20 pounds in store, that's not all, it's not all. I got 20 pounds in store, that's not all. I got 20 pounds in store, and I've run for 20 more. For the rich must help the poor, so must I, so must I. Oh, the rich must help the poor, so must I. Oh, they took me to Cootehill in a cart, in a cart. Oh, they took me to Cootehill in a cart. Oh, they took me to Cootehill, and it's there I made my will. For the best of friends must part, so must I, so must I. So the best of friends must part, so must I. Up the ladder I did go, snow joke, snow joke. Up the ladder I did go, snow joke. Up the ladder I did go, and the hangman pulled the rope, and it's ne'er a word I spoke, tumbling down, tumbling down. Oh, it's ne'er a word I spoke, tumbling down. Oh, my name it is Sam Hall, chimney sweep, chimney sweep. Oh, my name it is Sam Hall, chimney sweep. Oh, my name it is Sam Hall, and I've run from great and small, but my neck will pay for all when I die, when I die. Oh, my neck will pay for all when I die.
Thank you very much again. The Feekers, Sam Hall brings back memories even for me. If my own dad is watching there, I think he tunes in every week. How are you doing, Dad? The first person I ever heard sing was my own dad. It's a great, fantastic song. By the way, folks, before I'm going to have the lads back over for a bit of an interview, just to let you, if you're out there, we get messages in all the time, every week, about different people wanting to be on the show. It's as simple as just asking them, send us a message, and have a look and see. Maybe you can come on the show yourself, or if you know someone's a musician. It's a great experience in here. It's great just to play. You can see the footage yourself. Lads, welcome back again. Thank you very much. I just mentioned there, you probably didn't hear me there. Oh, microphone, yeah, so we can hear you. Sam Hall, what a brilliant song as well. Like, you know, I haven't heard it in years, and the first time I ever heard it was just saying it was my own dad, who used to play with the Furies years ago as well.
Oh,
where Sam Hall? No, it's a traditional song, I think, as well, isn't it?
It's a traditional song. I think that's even one. A lot of Irish songs went over to England and they changed them and made their own. But I think the origins of Sam Hall may have come from England, and it was called John Hall or something like that. And then when it came over, it was changed. And like a few other songs, if you put in an Irish place name, it becomes an Irish. So I think that's originally an English folk song. But again, you try look up the origins of these songs.
That's news to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you just hear even the main name just tweaked a little, and all of a sudden it came from this place, that place. And then if you ask where you try to do research on the year. Very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, of course, yeah. There's one particular site, isn't it, when you're looking up music, a traditional site?
Is it Mudcat or something like that?
Mudcat,
It's
that's
quite
the one
good.
I think it is, yeah, which is great for...
I remember even trying to look at the origins of whiskey in a jar. And, there's people that thought they knew the actual person that it happened to, and they researched it well, and it could be the person that they got the criminal and things like that whiskey in a jar was originally saying. But the only thing we can really go on as hard fact is when you get the archivist that go around and get an actual person and go for the oldest recording, or a song collector that's written it down and put a stamp beside it. Because it's the unfortunate thing that once things go by word of mouth and people are learning from an oral tradition, there's many English songs even that have come back from Newfoundland and just they've changed the words and it's come back and it's now a Newfoundland song,
I was shocked the first time I ever spoke to someone from Newfoundland, actually. I couldn't believe that they were from Newfoundland. The accent was just as Irish as could be.
Oh, it was Irish, yeah?
Yeah. I think a place for... I went researching one time. I went into UCD, in the archives in UCD for traditional songs, but you'd spend forever to get through them all, but they've got a lot of the data written about the songs as well. You can listen to the really old versions
then
of
you
songs.
start branching off into other songs, and before you know, you come out.
Exactly. Darren, I wanted to ask you yourself about some of the bands that you've played in. The names of the bands, like for example, Tam Lin. We were saying that's a Davy Arthur tune, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. Tam Lin came from a band, Sorana, that I was in. There was four of us. Again, we are very heavily influenced by Sweeney's Men. The Sweeney's Men were trio, Johnny Moynihan, Andy Irvine, and they influenced us in the way of the double string. So there was a heavy influence on bouzouki, 12-string guitars, and mandolin. So there's a lot of double string action going on, which led us into doing a lot of sort of counter melodies and harmonies and stuff like that. And then a lot of the lads then, I forget what happened, the band kind of broke up and there was two of us left, so we formed the band Tam Lin. And yeah, we got the idea from that great tune that Davy Arthur from the Davy Arthur and Furies wrote.
Cool, yeah.
But yeah, we played around, I would have originally learned banjo initially from Tom Moran. So I would have come out into these bands just after learning a bit of banjo and starting up. And it was great that there was other like-minded people
Thomas the School of Music as well, is it?
He's Oris Cronin at the time. I don't know where he's teaching now. Right. Oris Cronin in Clondalkin, and I spent a few years there learning banjo. And it was going after that when I started getting into playing pub gigs and Graces and Rathmines and places like that. That relying on a guitarist to learn all your repertoire wasn't great, because the banjo is good for melody playing, but it wasn't for singing a song. It can be quite harsh. So I found the bouzouki was my middleman. So I had to...
Because you can play the melody as well sometimes.
And so you're not losing the melody that you learn from what you learned on the banjo, but you can play chords and it's a bit more resonance off it, a bit more guitar-like. It wouldn't be as bassy as a guitar, but it'd have a...
When I was mentioning before, on your intro, the intro that I was giving you, and obviously the bio, when I was looking up everything about you, I noticed a couple of familiar names that I recognised with some of the sessions or some of the musicians around Ballyfermot that you'd learnt your music from. Liam O'Neill being one of them, or Derek de Bruyne.
Yeah, there was a great session at the time. I can't remember the year now. It would have been about 15 years ago, I'd say at least. But it was a great session in Ruby Finnegan's in Lower Ballyfermot. And you had musicians like Derek de Bruyne, great uilleann pipe player, Liam O'Neill, fantastic folk singer and guitar player.
Great character, yeah.
And John Lane. Sadly, none of them are with us, but it was great times there. Not only was there great sessions, and the folks at Ballyfermot loved it. It was a great session. It ran for many years. I think it used to be a Tuesday night, it used to be a Thursday evening. But I was living very close to it at the time, and it was great just to be able to stroll in, and you'd never met more welcoming.
It's such a small world, because I think about if it's the same session that we're talking about, because the two lads are definitely there. I've been at that session. It was about 20 years ago.
I'd say,
I suppose.
And it was great because even as far as these were fantastic. I remember Dara was composing his own tunes. Liam was composing his own songs, and you'd only be sitting in after a couple of years of learning, really just trying to absorb as much information from them as possible. And they were as given with it as well. They'd sit you down. The next tune the next week they'd have a tune scribbled out for you. Right. They were that helpful. It definitely stood to me having people like that. to
The
play
music's
with at
made
the
to go
start.
around. That's brilliant. Like,
And
you know.
there was no greed or meanness with them. They were willing to hand out every bit of knowledge that they had. It was great to be around them.
Brilliant. On to yourself, Johnny, just about the music, because you've got an interesting background. You're an Irish traveller, as we mentioned in the intro as
That's
well.
right,
But your music represents Irish travellers as well, which I'm sure you're very proud of. And I did a lot of studying on travellers' music, and I'm amazed with the way it's travelled from generation to generation. We were talking earlier before we went live about the digital world wasn't around when songs
no
were
way.
being passed on. Tell us a little bit about your own background and on learning music. Did you learn music by ear, or did you?
I learned by ear. All the family learned by ear. We had to.
Yeah.
It was the only way back then. Like, you know, well, we could learn by reading and writing it too, but we mostly learned by ear, which is, I suppose, is the way everybody back then learned.
That's
In
the
the
way.
traveling community, of course, yeah, because reading and writing was another sort of, you know, in the mix.
Yeah.
But I learned from air. Plus, I can read it and write it too. That's the way my grandfather learned me.
I suppose when you see the music changing over the years with the generations, like if you look at something that's recorded like years and years ago, recorded years and years ago, there was no digital devices, but as far back as we can go, I suppose, like, you know, but we were talking about like how it can actually change, but that could be one of the ways that music could change when you're singing what you've heard, but it might be something different as such. Do you get me what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. That's the reason we learn by ear is if we heard a tune that we liked, if it was on the radio or on tape, we'd pick it up and just, you know, get it straight away. Takes a while, but we'd learn it, and, you know, we had that sort of, I suppose, technique.
You're pretty much steeped in Irish traditional music from your background, especially with the name Keenan as well, like, you know.
There's a lot
with the two Johnnies. Tell us a little bit about Johnnies. Maybe starting with the Uilleann Piper Johnny, like, you know.
Where do I start? Well, it's probably my grandfather was supposed to. He was the one that got me into the music. But I asked my granny one time to ask him would he learn me, because I didn't want to ask him myself, and she asked him, and he started writing tunes out, but he said he wanted me to learn by ear. And I eventually started learning the whistle, and then he wanted to step me on the pipes, but I wanted the banjo. He wanted the pipes, so.
Did you ever try the pipes? Because it's the same finger movements, is it? You do, yeah.
I did play them, yeah. I haven't played them in years now, but I did play them, yeah.
It's just a different, I suppose, when because you're pumping the air.
But everything is working. Your brain, everything.
Because
your fingers, your right, your left, everything. Your feet, your mind, everything is going at once, like, you know. So it's a really difficult instrument to play.
And sometimes the tuning of the Uilleann pipes, I know from friends who play the Uilleann pipes as well, like I see them tuning, and it's taken quite a while just to get the tuning right.
My grandfather, the story, my grandfather made a set for the great flute player James Galway. He called them a bag of tricks.
All right.
You know, they were so difficult to play, but yeah, they're a comical but different instrument, but beautiful.
Yeah, no, and in the end you decided to go for the banjo.
I decided
as
to
well
go
as
for
the whistles.
Well, I was playing the mandolin first, and then I decided the banjo because I love Johnny playing, so that was kind of put me on the road to get the banjo and play.
Well,
the banjo.
The banjo and the Johnny Keenan Banjo Festival, like, you know, there's people coming from all over the world for that, as far as I know.
Earl Scruggs came, Tony Trishka.
Wow, Earl Scruggs came for that's
he came over. He was treated well, though. He was picked up in a limo and private jet, the whole lot. But he came over. It was great as well because there was so many musicians there, and you'd meet everybody. You know, everybody kind of knew everybody.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. You know, the turnout, the crowd, and Johnny, I suppose, would have loved it, or had to be given out. You know, I don't want that. You know, he was sort of, you know, that sort of shyness, but he loved his friends and he loved playing.
It's an honour for the Keenan name to keep the traditions going, like yourself.
It's
like, you know?
great to keep the tradition going, but I have kids myself, and they were interested when they were younger, but now that they're in their teens, and
I think that's kind of what happens, though, as we were saying earlier as well. Like learning music, I think when I was probably interested when I was young as well. I was 12, 13 hits, and it's just like, you must be joking. Like,
Yeah,
you
you
know?
want to do your own thing. Like, you want to be out with your friends. You don't want to be, I suppose, nowadays going and saying I'm playing traditional music. You're probably looked at like, you know.
Yeah. When I figured out that the music around, everyone's enjoying themselves and having a laugh, and then when I figured out that it actually sometimes made some money for it, I was like, wow, this is kind of something I want to go for myself. Like, it's like some sort of a better incentive, I suppose, as well, when you get a bit older, to realise you can get something from it. Like, you know.
It's brilliant, yeah, because we go for that. You'll never go hungry once you can play an instrument, you know.
Now you're talking, exactly. What did I want to ask about? I wanted to ask you about, when I was looking on your Facebook page as well, lads, I went through obviously some of the videos from your album, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well, but there was an interview about Luke Kelly, and I didn't listen to the whole interview. I wanted just to find out a little bit about it. Where did you get the interview? You said you took it from, was it from someone else's page?
Yeah, that was from YouTube. That was just a rare find because, again, like yourself, I'd be a big Dubliners fan. And it was great to see such a raw recording of an interview with Luke Kelly, where normally you see the Dubliners in an interview, it's nearly scripted. You know, they've said they've been interviewed so many times over the years, that's nearly the same answers constantly. So, yeah, it's just Luke Kelly talking real brashly and honestly and openly, and it's a rare find. You'll get her on the Facebook page here.
You know, the Feekers Facebook page.
Facebook.com / the Feekers, or backslash wherever the Feekers.
Super, that's where I found myself. Do you write any tunes or songs yourselves?
No, at the moment, because of, well, we're supposed to be, you take the foot off the accelerator as well with COVID, and we've just been sort of tapping along.
Last year, yeah.
And as I was saying, with the change of instruments, change of style, we sort of more just adapting what we've played over the years. Like what we recorded years ago, it'd be a lot different than what we record now. Different sounds, some same tunes. So there's a wealth of traditional music out there as well that I don't know. I can't speak for Johnny. Maybe have you composed a few tunes yourself? Or?
No, not yet.
You're keeping it traditional, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Because
well, that's the way I'd like to keep it. That's the way I've been all my life. So traditional.
Keep it traditional.
So I wouldn't change it for the world, you know.
The different styles. No, it's fantastic to see. Like, and it's amazing. Like, how many times like you hear a traditional song or tune and the different versions of it. You know?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, different people's interpretation. They can take it, spin around its head, and yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your album, or what you have got on the album.
You a free copy there.
You give me a free copy. Thank you very much.
We couldn't remember we wouldn't remember all the songs off of there. So I think a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff we played tonight on it, we recorded back in 2012.
Wow, fair play.
And it was in Electric Studios, I think, at Temple Bar.
Yeah, John, was it Marshall?
Yes. I'm trying to think of the name. Stephen or Conor?
No, something Marshall.
I know. He's probably watching the course.
He's probably the course.
You're not giving him a proper plug. You forget his name.
Chris Marshall. Chris Marshall.
Chris.
That's probably from him shouting at the screen somewhere many miles away. Chris Marshall. Yeah, he was the engineer. At the time we were doing it on a budget, it was kind of rushed as well. We were happy with it in the end, but it's kind of thing that we came back from and says, do you know what, we'd like to do X, Y, and Z. Different and change it up a bit, but that's it there.
You've got some great ones on it, like Tar Bolton, Sullivan's John, Pecker don't be well known for Sullivan's John.
Yes. We'd have to say not only Chris Marshall, Aaron Dempsey, who done the photography for us as well. Right. And it was great just folks helping us out and that. So we hope that was 2012. So we'd be hoping, say, next year it'd be 10 years already.
10 years, yeah.
To maybe get another album out and to put a bit of work in and get something nice, some nice recordings out.
No, so I look forward to listening to. I see just talking when we were talking about earlier about a song names changing. Like, I see you've got the Belfast Mill there.
Belfast,
which is a fantastic song. That's another one that
originated.
The Oregon Mill over in America. That's where that originated.
And just changed the name of the place from Oregon Mills to Belfast.
I think,
Belfast,
if I'm right, was it the Furies or maybe it was Finbar?
The Furies, Finbar done it.
Put the Belfast.
I think it was originally written by Cy Khan. I think he was Canadian.
Cy Khan, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And again, you could argue with people in the pub, say, no, that's an American folk song. They say, no, they'd argue with you.
And you have Lizzie Lindsay on for me, which is great. Like,
Yes, yes.
That's brilliant. I look forward to it. Lads, thanks very much. And
You're welcome.
Where can people get the album, or just your Facebook page is the communication to get through if they want to contact you to get an album?
If they want to contact us, it was in Claddagh Records for the time there, but I think it had its time there. They've run out of copies. But yeah, if people want to send us an email or a Facebook message, it'd probably be best.
Brilliant. Lads, thanks very much for coming on. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed meeting you. Like, it's great that, as we were saying about the connection, that I've been to a session that you used to go to and a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's beautiful music to hear. Just want to finish off with a song?
I think we're going to finish with a song called The Banks of the Roses.
Oh, The Banks of the Roses. Do you want to join us?
Should I give it a go? Why not? Cool, brilliant. Right, we'll give it a go.
Now, from ourselves, from me and John, we'd just like to say thanks to everybody here. Been very helpful, and it was a great pleasure. Thanks to Stephen and all the whole crew. It's been a great pleasure here. Thanks a lot, folks.
Thanks a million, yeah.
Thank you, lads.
Let us know if the sound's okay.
That's me, sorry.
On the banks of the roses, we love a nice sit down. I took out me fiddle for to play me lovely tune. Middle of that tune, oh, she sighed and she said, ah, Johnny, lovely Johnny, won't you leave me? When I was a younger man, I heard my father say, rather see me dead than buried in the clay. Sooner than be married to Annie Runaway. By the lovely sweet banks of the roses, banks of the roses, we love a nice sit down. I took out me fiddle for to play me love a tune. Middle of the tune, oh, she sighed and she said, Johnny, lovely Johnny, won't you leave me?
Well, now I am a runaway, and sure I'll let you know I can take a good glass and leave it alone. Her flowers and lichens, you keep his daughter at home. And Johnny will go roving with another. On the banks of the roses, we have a nice sit down. I took out me fiddle for to play me love you. Middle of the tune, oh, she sighed and she said, Johnny, lovely Johnny, won't you leave me?
if I ever get married, it'll be in the month of May. All the leaves are green and the meadows they are gay. Me and my Jew will always sit and sport and play by the lovely sweet banks of the roses.
Banks of the roses, we love the nice sit down. I took me before to play me love tune. Middle of the tune, oh, she sighed and she said,
Johnny, lovely Johnny, won't you leave me?
banks of the roses, we love the nice sit down. I took me before to play me love tune. Middle of the tune, oh, she sighed and she said,
Johnny, lovely Johnny, won't you leave me?
The Feekers, thank you very much, lads. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
And we'll have to get you back on again in the future. It's been a pleasure to meet you, lads. Really, thank you very much for coming along. Folks, don't forget to tune in next week. We've got Adrian Sullivan and we have Sean Coffey. Same time, same place. It will be 7 p.m. this day on Friday next week. Thanks very much and good night to you all.